Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we are getting into Bleach, episode 257, hunting down some of these rogue Zenpakuto that are just still around for reasons. Don't worry about it. We're just going on a little detour for these few episodes coming up, so I'm looking forward to just having some fun and spending some more time with Soul Society characters and everything without it being like everything going topsy-turvy for once, so that'll be nice. In 3, 2, 1, go. I wonder if we're just gonna be following, like, Rukia. I don't know if No, we saw it in the preview. Didn't we see some about Ichigo? Look, I haven't been keeping all that much in my head from the last episode because I'm like, how much of it's gonna be important for me to know at any point in the future? It is kind of nice, though, like, for all of me being like, I get that filler is what it is, and not everyone's gonna be interested in it, right? But I do just... I like the low stress of it. I'm so used to trying to keep up with everything that's happening in Bleach. There are so many characters, especially with the Thousand Year Blood War stuff, that there's just so much happening all the time that I'm like, it's nice to just be in the world for a little bit. That being said, though, I liked the Fullbring arc, and I will stand behind that story as, like, one of my favorites. And I remember having discussions with people in the comments, being like, I didn't really like this arc, or, like, other people didn't really like it. I thought it was cool. So, I do also feel like we got to the end of this arc, though, and there were a bunch of stuff we just didn't go back to. You know, like, we just left some stuff. Which just seems weird to me for, like, something that is filler and they need to buy some more episodes, right? Like, they're like, we need to come up with reasons for there to still be stuff going on for the next little bit, that you would leave something unfinished or, like, not wrapped up. Because that would be a great opportunity to just be like, what's Kenpachi doing? How did his fight end? Did we get anything about that? I do like the funky music that always comes in when Mayuri is around. As unsettling as he is, I do like getting a little bit of a, like, I don't know, like, celebratory music that comes along with him. A little off kilter. Okay, I didn't need a reminder of that. Believe me, I know that he got all up in that camera. I remember. Even just going through the last episode, because I was like, I'm gonna, thumbnail things. I'm gonna pick out something, screenshot for my thumbnail, and I, like, found that part again. I was like, ugh. These poor guys. Yeah, don't go towards the weird noise. I guess, like, maybe you should because you're at a construction place and, like, it might be important. But for the sake of, like, generally it's not good to go towards the random noise. You are all up in his personal space. To be fair, your friends are always weird. Look, he doesn't have the spidey sense of when there's spirits and stuff around, so I get the freak out. It's been a while. Has it been a while? I can't remember. I was gonna say, it's been a while since we've seen Ichigo just, like, patrolling, like, as like a Soul Reaper. But maybe it hasn't chronologically. It has for me. Ooh, I like the tracking shot with the hand though. Cool with the like ribbons too, like the white and the red that are like swirling around them. I was gonna say, Shiro? Ooh. What, you couldn't jump over a train? Y'all can like fly, but not really. I understand there are more mechanics to it. But like basically y'all can fly and you couldn't get over a train? Well, things were like fixed, don't worry about it. And then they weren't anymore. Where those are Sanbakuto showing up? Because it looked like we had kitty ears. And then like Toshiro is here. I love that Toshiro is like one of the youngest compared to a bunch of the other like captains, lieutenants, and everything, but he's the most like put out single parent energy. There's a lot happening. Ichigo really has just been minding his business. There's just madness around him. Like he was just like walking to school or whatever, and then sensed there was something happening. Friend got people got all up in his business, and now he's just trying to drink like some tea and be left alone. I don't know if you should be playing cards with your Subbuctos. Just seems like a dangerous game to be playing. I like how they're talking like they can't be overheard. Speaking of single parents. Yeah, like everyone's just like, this would be a lot easier if they couldn't interact with us. Wow. They can hear you. do love them just hanging out though. Like simultaneously being like, we need to think about what's going on, figure things out, and also being like, this would be so much easier if they were back to being their weapons again. Why? What are we doing this time? Are we getting some context? Maybe I take it back that we left some things not figured out yet. Maybe we're gonna do it just like not chronologically. Okay, but the fact that we had a lot of faith that this would be something we could figure out. You know what I mean? Like, can we go back to the part where like Byakuya was just like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy a Zanpakuto of anybody, let alone someone is like part of my family. On like the bet that we're gonna be able to figure out how to fix it later. Though, I mean, considering he also was like, yeah, I mean, execution is what has to happen during Soul Society. I know that he came around, but like, he was pretty. He held his tongue for a long time. Oh, hello. Spider-esque shape. Let me say that about like the body. I don't like that it has so many teeth. I know that it's something that hollows do, but like, is that it? We're done with him now? It's quite a way to go out, my guy. Oof. That moment of like the like remnant is gone. I'm like, oof. I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, this cat. The height difference is crazy. Twin. The like disregard of like you won't understand. Kind of makes sense for them to be like unstable though, given the whole like nothing at all. But like they would have been unstable anyway if they were like not working with their Soul Reaper though, right? I know we're talking about like destabilize so that he could brainwash them, but I think that's the problem. He's like, where's the novelty? Wow. Bribed by the, the candies, though? I like how the candies were part of it. It's like he's gonna be like, and then like we knew this, just so it was like, you know what you need to do, subtle bribe. To be fair, I also don't like doing things when I'm told. But if you give me candy, I'm gonna rethink it. Ominous sky. Too bad. Just girls being girls. I mean, there's some fan service as well, which is like, honestly, it's not as outrageous as some of the anime fan service out there. Always makes me nervous when there's rain. Been through too much trauma in this series when things rain. Oh, we got hollowified. Cool, they can morph. Uh-oh. We weren't able to switch. Did we change outfits? Are we through? Like, wasn't she in the uniform still? I wonder if there'd be some connection to the materialized Zanpakuto as well, because it's like your like the energies would be similar. And it would be like you must have answers for like what has happened to me. It's cool. Ichigo's got this. This is his thing. You know, anime protagonist TM. Y'all, a contractor is gonna have to show up tomorrow morning and see the damage that you've done. Are we gonna have to be dealing with some hollow slash remnant? It also kind of makes sense that they would like morph though, because they're both like soul, like lost souls, right? Just like one is like human and one is like Zanpakuto. Cool little continuous animation there, like the switching between the two parts. Yeah, I was like, does that mean we're gonna have to deal with hollows that have some, Zanpakuto adjacent abilities? Ooh, you might have an advantage with all the rain and stuff, right? Did that work? All right, worked. I was like, I don't know, sometimes crazy things happen. It would also be like it kind of makes sense to have the Zanpakuto or like the remnants kind of fusing with the Hollow too, because they're looking for that like counterpart, right? Kind of like instinctually, they're trying to find like that counterpart that they would usually have with like their Soul Reaper, who isn't there anymore. That it would make sense to kind of in that situation of like being attacked, eaten, that you might like bond with whatever kind of human adjacent soul you could, right? In the same way that you would with like a Soul Reaper. Interesting. I know we're upping the stakes a little bit, making it a little bit more fun designs and stuff. And we had all the stuff with Muramasa too, right? Where we kind of set up the idea of like this like kind of abandoned Zanpakuto connect, like fusing with a hollow like ability and all of that. So I feel like the episode was a little bit scattered. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we repeat, obviously, again, like filler. I give some grace. But it felt a bit like we were repeating things. We were a little bit all over the place in terms of like setting things up, because it feels like we didn't quite have enough to fill it what we wanted for like the episode. And not just like the actual like repetition of stuff that happened at the end of the last one, but okay. Denji in the next one. Always love that. Oh, is that what we're curious about? He's still gonna have the mask. Strategic censorship. Like I was saying, I feel a little bit like this episode was all over the place. We were going from a lot of different characters, having a lot of different conversations that I don't know how much it all came together in terms of the information we were getting. I like that we got some more context of like, how did we get these Zanpakuto back, right? Not just in terms of the brainwashing, but also like the ones that were destroyed. So like, how did we get those back? Tying up that loose end. But it also felt like we were doing a bunch of repetition of being like, this is what remnants are. And I'm like, I know, I was here for the last episode. But again, filler. I understand that that they're buying time with all of this, and they don't want to, like I was saying in the last one, it's a weird number of episodes where you don't want to introduce anything too complicated because you have to finish it by the end of these like 10 episodes that we're getting. Finish off this filler arc section, whatever. So you want to not do anything that is going to be too complicated that you can't get the story finished, but you also can't pull too much from the like actual canon arc either, and you need to make sure you don't interfere with that. Like, we all have to end up at the same place as we left off in the previous like canon arc to continue the story. So I get that they're in a rough spot to be managing all of that and balancing it all out, but I think it's cool that we're gonna get some designs that are like hollow slash Zanpakuto designs, getting to see some hollow-esque characters that have like weapons and stuff, and seeing how that impacts the way that they fight, and having some of the crossover with like Zanpakuto kind of abilities and everything. The madness that will continue to ensue because we have all of these Zanpakuto characters around. It is difficult to manage too. Like, it's a fun arc, it's a fun concept to be like, here are the personifications of these Zanpakuto, but it also means that you're doubling the number of characters that you have to juggle, which is inherent. It's just going to be more difficult. And I feel like we were having that a little bit in that I feel like there were just a lot of characters that we were trying to come back to. And I was just thinking, how many characters did we not get to see in like the Zanpakuto arc? Or at least we didn't come back to them. We might have seen them at the start, just like going around the like Soul Society characters and stuff. I was like, were you not part of everything happening? Even Mayuri, though, was like there for part of it. And then he's, okay, I'm gonna go do some science. And then he just wasn't around anymore. So again, it's gonna be difficult the more, there's already so many characters in Bleach that you like doubling up the number of characters you're gonna have with all of the Soul Reapers, and they have to be together in all of the scenes, is already gonna make things difficult in terms of balancing out screen time and who's doing stuff. They were trying to do a little bit of that by kind of cutting between different characters while giving us the backstory of the like unstabilized Zanpakuto and then being like stabilized again, and that's how they were like breaking the brainwashing and everything. I get it. I give some leeway because I understand that they're fighting an uphill battle with a bunch of this, but definitely felt a little bit clunky in this episode. But it is what it is, right? I had some fun anyway, but I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or I can subscribe for the next time I post a Bleach reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.